Hello, this is Eric of Spark Studio, and welcome to my review of the Fifine Profile 3. Full disclosure, this was sent for review, no money was exchanged, simply sent, and I gotta keep it after. Though I'll still give you a nice honest review, including all the disadvantages, including SPL test, and many other things. I'll be testing to mobile phone, I'll be testing to PC, and I will be testing the headphone out to my digital camera so you can hear that as well. It has rubber underneath the stand on the bottom base, headphone volume, and the microphone volume on here, and the ports are down at the base of the unit. We can tighten or loosen this microphone within the base, and for included items, there's a user manual as well as a USB cable that's Type-C USB on the one end with connection for Type A, that's the rectangular size, and to Type-C underneath that. The included USB cable is a little over 2 meters in length, or about 82 inches tip to tip. And this actually weighs more than the Fifine Tank 3, which is quite the surprise for me. This microphone is 823 grams. Wow. The Fifine Tank 3 is only 514 grams. The Fifine AM8 is only 414 grams. On the bottom end of this microphone, we have the headphone, USB Type-C, as well as a flat and a low cut, depending where your switch is. Low cut here, and flat response right there. So let's say you find it too bassy and you want a little more, say, treble or more vocal forward, you'll turn that low cut on to cut up to 150 hertz of the low end rumble sound. The rotation of all the control knobs on this microphone are very smooth in movement. This particular one has a small locking area right at the 12 o'clock point, and everything else is just smooth rotating. Right now you're listening to the Fifine Profile 3 microphone. This is a 192 kilohertz sample rate, 24-bit of recording, giving it studio quality, at least in the possibility of studio quality. Generally, when you record closer to the microphone, you're going to get better sound. So how am I coming through? Being close to the microphone. Obviously recommended to be up close if you're going to record. Now let's check out the pickup pattern of this microphone. We're at the front, go the side, we go the back, and we go the top, and that's the top there. So there's not really any noise cancellation versus, say, some other dynamic microphones like the AM8. And this here is the Fifine AM8. So if I'm going to talk about noise rejection, you probably don't know what I mean if you're new to audio, and the point of showing this is because the Profile 3 is not necessarily a game streaming microphone to cancel noise around it or noisy computer fan sounds. Well, this one's going to be great for that purpose. So each microphone has its own specific purpose and use case, where this one is going to be for a noisy room. Another one I think is going to be better for voiceover right here, the Profile 3. However, one thing we're probably going to get is a bit better, more accurate sound with this USB microphone versus the Fifine AM8. That's both XLR and USB. Now, if we turn it around, we can see here, there is a mute button that lights up green. And when I press it again, but the one thing we can hear is that little snap of the button. Mostly when I unmute it. The volume for the microphone, quieter, to go louder, to go louder, to go louder, to go louder, to go louder. That's probably too loud. Not too loud, okay. Let's see, let's go down quiet again. And of course, we're going to get hiss at higher volumes. That's just an aspect, par for the course, when we're talking about microphones and crank up the volume all the way. You don't want to do that. Now, we also have back here headphones. I have my headphone volume almost to max so I can hear nice and brightly clear. I can turn my headphones off completely, I can't hear it, and I can turn them all the way up. You can't hear that part, but I'll display the microphone soon enough. On the front end, right here, do we see that? It says it's a monitor. I can change the volume to PC to be more PC and get rid of the headphones completely. Right now I have the monitor all direct to the PC, and now I'm going to turn it back to the headphones. And if I turn it all the way to the headphones, it probably has stopped recording my PC. I'll find out. And I'm going back, and it's still recording to PC. So much for that. Still records to PC. Just if I go all the way, you don't hear it through the headphones. Let's test out the low cut. When I turn on low cut, it cuts off 150 hertz, and my voice should be less bassy. So if you have a deep voice, you might want to turn that low cut on. It's more broadcasty, I find, in tone, at least through my headphones. I've never played it back yet, but this is what I'm hearing right now. So let's turn that back off, and there's me naturally again. So how am I coming through the Profile 3? Right now, let's do a microphone distance test away. And right now, I'm about 6 centimeters away from the microphone. And let's try about 30 centimeters away from the microphone. And how am I coming through? And let's go further back. Let's go. Right now, we are about a meter away from the microphone. And this is about as far as I go. Right around here to here is a sweet spot because we can pick me up nice and clearly right here. And then we can hear me drop off. So right about this distance, which is what? I guess about somewhere around 6 or so centimeters away, we can pick me up nicely. Any closer than that, we start to get plosives. And we start to get mouth smacking noises. And that's not delightful, being this close. This is only about, 2 centimeters away. And you get some more sibilants, S sounds. So keep about 6 centimeters away, maybe 10 centimeters away. And this is your wonderful spot to be with this microphone. Boom. Mind blown. Right now, you're listening to the headphone port out to my digital camera. How am I coming through? Using the Profile 3 microphone. No equalizer on. Nope, no equalizer on. But let's try some low cut to my digital camera. And how am I with low cut? And that's what you'd hear if you were listening through headphones. Now, the headphone port itself, is there any delay? No, there is no delay. I did not notice anything for delay. It just works. So that is great news. The hole for mounting is 5/8 inch with a deeper hole at 3/8, which this thread is a 3/8 inch thread. Stand right here. I could boom it overhead if I choose to. Now, one thing I must note that I really haven't mentioned is the connections are down at the bottom. It means I can't put it completely vertical. It always has to be angled somewhat. So note that one. I'm going to record using Open Camera. It's a free app, and the audio you're hearing is through here because I don't have this microphone connected to anything but my mobile phone. I'll open up Open Camera. Now let's get started with this recording. 3, 2, 1. How am I coming through using Open Camera with this microphone? We can see here, this microphone is powered on and working. And let's get me back on camera because it's probably in focus wherever the heck it wants to focus because it's not going to focus anywhere because it has face focus set. So we're testing with my mobile phone. How is the audio coming through using this microphone? Is low cut on? I hope not. No, it's not on, but let's see if I turn low cut on and get rid of that bassy tone. And I'm speaking to the microphone without the bassy tone. Let's switch it back. This is hard to hold this. And there we go. Now I get my bassy tone back again. Because I'm Duke Nukem. And I'm definitely not Duke Nukem now. But I can be Duke Nukem again with my bassy tone. The range of recording is from 70 hertz all the way to 20 kilohertz. 20 kilohertz is standard. And 70 hertz is more like a mild low cut. How am I coming through with my mobile phone? Remember to subscribe to Spark eStudio and help the channel grow. Leave your comments below if you have any questions, and if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer those questions. In terms of tightening, it does tighten pretty decent actually. I like that, so that's good. It's much better than the AM8. The Fifine AM8, or in this case T, is a stand. Well, it may be a great value microphone, but just keep this in mind compared to a review product. it doesn't hold in place quite the same as the Profile 3. So now I have a shield in my hand, but to show the plosive, to show the plosive. We can hear that makes quite the difference now, doesn't it? So if you had a little thing like this from Melon Audio in this particular plosive case, plosive. There we go. Time for an SPL test! Does it distort if I'm loud? And it's not a matter of clipping, because check this out. I turn it down just slightly and I lose all sound. And if I turn up louder, it's going to be the same situation unless it's clipping to the PC. So we can shout, we just can't shout really loud to this microphone. So that's our SPL test. For shouting really loud, test is failed. Compared to the PD100X, it is better than the Miono PD100X. Right now, we're listening to the sound of the Miono PD100X. And the one thing we can't do without this distorting is shouting into the microphone at all. So let's get down to business and into shouting, because I bet it's sounding distorted like a mess just talking loud like this. The Profile 3 is a bit better in USB connection than this mess of a microphone. And now we are shouting into the Fifine AM8 microphone. Is this your great and mighty bet for game streaming and being able to shout without distorting? I don't know, but we'll both find out on playback. When it comes to SPL, or basically shouting into the microphone, the Fifine AM8 is the better option. However, voice acting and accurate sound is better on the Profile 3. Krillin, use the power within you. But I ain't got no power except for these Power Hour chocolate bars. They're the best. I knew this guy once. It left trails of brown all over the place. It's almost like he pooped himself. This is Eric of Sparky Studio. Thanks for watching and have yourselves a most wonderful day. Boom. Mind-blowing by the sound of this microphone for the price paid, especially headphone out sound quality. Until next time, thanks again for watching, and have yourselves a most wonderful day. Okay, you can go now. Ta-ta. Are you seriously still watching? Okay, I'm going to turn this off. Okay, take care. Bye.